Couple questions. Just recent road trip. You picked up 2 wins. What does it mean to the team momentum-wise, and just how's the team feeling getting those 2 big wins on the road and then getting to 2-2 in conference?
Well, it was. I just go back to that first game against UW and after Christmas and feeling like our non-conference schedule really prepared us for league, and then going into the UW game at home and just not playing well and not playing with much passion or energy. And I thought we really turned the corner against Stanford, except the fact that Stanford still beat us. And so it doesn't show up on the scoreboard sometimes against the quality of opponent and just how that played out. And so the next big step for us was how we would respond on the road, being 0-2 at Cal, and 2 teams that would be desperate for a win. And, I mean, talk about blow the doors off of just energy and locked into what we wanted to do defensively, and all of a sudden, the floodgates open offensively, and things that we've seen in practice kind of starts happening in the game. And so we just played so well at Cal. And I thought we just gained a lot of momentum off of that, and came back and had a couple of great days of practice. And obviously we get to go to UW again and be on the road and try to redeem ourselves a little bit. And the same thing, I don't think we played great early, and again, that's a credit to them and how they play. But we kind of had a knockout punch against them. I mean, we just hung around, and then all of a sudden we hit a couple of baskets. Chanel makes a couple of threes, and then I think they're reeling a little bit and they can't recover. And we just finished that game so well and with such poise. And again, finally our shooters kind of caught on fire and created an advantage for us. So I just love how we're playing. I love how we're competing. I love that we're not letting adversity knock us back and keep us from going forward, and how we've responded to the things put before us. And it gives us a lot of confidence coming off of the road with 2 wins. And now we get the challenges of home and playing some really hot teams here in Beasley.
Do you see any kind of difference in the team and how they respond to adversity between last year, this year? And like you said, you down at UW, come back with a huge fourth quarter. Chanel had not a Chanel game for the first 3 quarters, and then caught fire herself. And so do you see any kind of difference, and what do you think that difference might be this year, or is it just experience?
Well, I do think I am a firm believer, having spent 4 years of trying to grow my program at Northern Colorado, and then coming in here and trying to instill some foundations on just the competitiveness of a gym, the competitiveness of a player, the toughness that it takes to be good. These are some of our core values that we talk a lot about. And toughness, I know, and competitiveness, I know you can grow it, and you can get better at it. And I think at times last year we didn't handle ourselves very well when things got hard. And I think at the same time, we weren't built great to handle a lot of things and to manufacture points last year. I think I've been much more impressed with our team and knowing that we have more weapons on the floor, especially as we get our young post players more minutes and where they can become effective for us in back to the basket production. I feel really good about depth of our team and being able to go with different players and obviously you have 2 great players in Bobby and Nell who can just flat out create shots for themselves and others. So I know we're built better, and I think, like I said, I think you can grow those things of toughness. And I mean that by mental, physical, and emotional. I think in the past we've emotionally gotten down when things hit us. And I think we respond so much better than that. And I think it's a step in the growth of our program. And I know it takes more time to get that so instilled in us that, you just never doubt it. But I like how we're built right now. I like our senior leadership, and I like the disposition of our team. And I think it's really we've gained confidence in the last week and a half. And again, I think the confidence, even though we didn't win a lot of games against top teams in the non-conference, I think playing those teams instilled some toughness and some resiliency, and I think it's going to play out in the league play.
Well, and that toughness you're going to need this weekend, taking on Arizona. Comes in at 21, Arizona State 18, coming off of two of probably their biggest wins in program history, if you consider them, but they're going back to back against Oregon and Oregon State. What do you see in this weekend? How do you approach these two teams, especially Arizona? They're just so completely different in the styles of play. Arizona looking with Ari to just get out and run. She takes 100 shots and makes 90 of them. And then Arizona State, which is just a lockdown, tough defense that tries to impose their will on teams.
Yeah, I mean, two teams that I think are really confident, and I think Arizona, obviously will come in here very desperate and having lost 3 games in a row, yet, they lost them to all top 5 or top 10 teams, so I don't know that there's much disgrace in that, but just they're a hard team to match up against. We play them first, so we have to spend a lot of time on how we're going to defend Ari, but they're also a year older with having not lost a lot of personnel off their team last year, team that won the WNIT. They can score at a lot of positions. They have a lot of weapons. They put a lot of points on the board. So it's a game where you really have to score, and you have to be aggressive, and you have to match them because they're gonna score. You have to find a way to try to keep Ari from getting to the line 15 times a game, and she's just so effective at that. So it's a real hard matchup for anybody. So we have to spend a lot of time on that. Excited to be back home, excited to be playing. Got a big weekend, with our games and the Klay Thompson retirement, and hopefully getting to meet him. Our team's excited about that. Arizona State, again, they're just so unbelievably good defensively and just make the game so hard, take you out of rhythm, and it's hard to score enough points to beat them. But they're the next issue after Arizona, so just more than anything, we'll deal with them when that comes. We're just excited to be at home and again get to the chance to play a great Arizona team and see how we do against a top 20 team and see if we're getting better.
Then kind of lastly, just can you talk a little bit about Bobby and her accomplishments this weekend? She became the all-time leading scorer, men's or women's, here at Washington State. Kind of what she means to the program, and maybe her lasting impact here.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby, I don't think I'm always the best one to ask. I feel like, although I have a lot of opinions, I'm just thrilled that I get a chance to coach her. 2 years having coached her, or year and a half so far. I think I always go back to Bobby and the fact that Bobby could have left when everybody left and probably got many phone calls from a lot of schools that wanted to get her when the coaching change happened. I think it speaks so much to her, and I always go back to that because I think it speaks to her character, her passion for this place, how much she loves Washington State. She wants to be a Coug. She wants to leave a legacy. She wants to turn this thing around and have a winning season and get to postseason play. All of those things are wrapped up in that decision to stay. But I have so much respect for kids that stick it out in this world where transfers and the portal is out there, and so great players that it's not been perfect for them, but somehow they stay. I think it says a lot about her. So I speak to that the most with her. I love that about her. Obviously, she's a fantastic offensive player, and I really am just thrilled that she's the one that's going to hold the record for Washington State. I think she's deserving. think about where she came from. She spoke no English when she walked on this campus, and she's overcome a lot of barriers. But the one barrier, that she's going to be the best at is she can put the ball in the basket better than anyone else in the history of this program, and that says a lot. Anytime you leave being the greatest in a program, you're doing something, and I hope we can get that number out there so far that nobody ever touches it again.